have severe hemophilia type A. I am 24 years old and I was diagnosed at birth. So I've had hemophilia for the last 24 years and I've lived my whole life knowing that I've had hemophilia.
Yeah. Okay. And what are your overall, your goals for your health since you were diagnosed with hemophilia?
Well, because my family and I knew that I had hemophilia from a very early age, we took a very active approach to not really treating hemophilia, but more preventing any injuries from happening. I've been infusing my medicine on a prophylactic schedule ever since I was about 2 years old. So from a very young age, we took a proactive approach to my health and making sure that I was staying healthy and preparing for injuries or other things instead of dealing with them once they occurred. And that's proven to be something that has helped me be very successful with maintaining a healthy lifestyle. I don't suffer from any injuries. I don't have any problems at all really from hemophilia. And I think that's mostly due to just how regularly and how often I've been treating myself.
And do you have, what challenges do you encounter to achieve all these goals that you have?
A big challenge would be always infusing on a routine schedule and making sure that I have all of my medicine, whether that be at home or if I'm taking trips. Like I said, I've been very fortunate in terms of injury and other things where I haven't had many challenges in terms of target joints or dealing with bleeds. So I would say the biggest challenge for me is making sure that I keep up my prophylactic schedule and making sure that I'm not getting injured or making sure that I'm kind of staying where I'm at or continuing my success moving forward.
Okay. So, I would like to ask you some questions that would be focused on like four parts. At first, the pre-diagnosis that, you were really, really young, but maybe for your family, and afterwards, the process of the diagnosis, and finally treatment and living with being diagnosed. So, you were early diagnosed, but did your family face any challenge on finding the right prescriber or the right doctor, or you were super easily diagnosed?
So when I was born and diagnosed with hemophilia, my family didn't know what hemophilia was. They didn't know that it ran in our family, and so they were very, very nervous and very afraid. Luckily, the hospital that I was born at had a hematology center, and so they were put into contact with the hematologist from the hospital, and so they learned a lot of information through the treatment center and the hematologist at the hospital. Because they had no idea what hemophilia was or how to even treat hemophilia, figuring out what medication to use was a challenge. I would say the biggest challenge for them was they just didn't know anything about the treatment of hemophilia. They didn't know how medicine works in the body, what were important things to know about medication. They didn't have any resources, and they also didn't know where to find the resources. So the first medication that I was on was something that the doctor had told them about and talked with them about. They made the decision to put me on it, but I don't believe they were presented with a lot of different options. And so it was a struggle at first to kind of learn about not only the medications, but what hemophilia was and how different medications would affect their child moving forward. So they did have to rely a lot on the treatment center and the hematologist at the time.
So, well, you mentioned that it was an important challenge for them to get information as they don't know where to look at it. And was the doctor helpful, or where did they look for this information, or who they asked for this?
So they mostly got the information from the treatment center. So I was very luckily born at a very large hospital. So the hematology center there, they had resources for my parents, but they were kind of the hematology department and the hematologist at the hospital were the only resource that my parents had. They did try and look up articles online or visit the library to try and read books. But this was back in the early 1990s. And so, online resources weren't that available. And so they really did have to rely on the hospital to tell them where they could access different information.
Okay. So, and how, well, when they received the diagnosis, how was the communication, or they were, informed, or doctors were helpful, or they felt a little bit lost?
Obviously my parents felt very lost and somewhat helpless. They didn't know if I was even going to survive, and so, understandably so, they were very nervous, they were worried, they just didn't, I think the biggest thing for them was they felt helpless because they didn't know what hemophilia was, or what was going to happen with their child moving forward. The doctors at the hospital were very, very helpful. They taught my parents everything that they know about hemophilia and about treatment. We spent a significant amount of time at the hospital my first 2 years, just trying to learn what hemophilia was and how to manage it, but also my parents didn't know or didn't think it was a good idea to infuse me themselves. So for the first year or two, we spent a lot of time at the hospital, and the hospital staff was very, very helpful. They communicated with my parents very well. Obviously we learned a lot from the hospital that we implemented into my life and kind of started to manage on our own. But those first 2 years were very important for my parents.
Yeah. So, and did they receive any help from the industry or information from, about the treatment?
They didn't early on. They got the medicine through the hospital. I don't think my parents started working with industry until I was about 5 or 6. So for the beginning part of my life, when we had just found out that I had hemophilia and what it was, we relied on the hospital a lot.
Okay, so at first you said that that you had no lots of treatment options, or how was the discussion on the treatment options and preferences that your parents had?
So, like I said, they worked with the hematologist at the hospital, and the hematologist gave them some options and did present them with different drug choices. So it was their choice to make. However, they didn't understand how to make that decision. They didn't understand what to look for in medicines, and so they really relied on the hematologist's opinion and advice for picking a medication. And the medication that they ended up picking was something that actually worked very well for us. So once